All right, little Odin's Day update here. And it's not little. It's a big Odin's Day update. It's how it all works. Pushing a little further. You know, folks these days talk a lot about what is called manifestation, right? Which is this idea that you can align yourself to a certain outcome that you want and make it happen. That nothing in the world can keep you from it, right? It's kind of the idea. But a lot of times this gets sold as just positive thinking. And there's all kinds of techniques that are parroted, write things down, have happy mantras that you say throughout the day, keeping yourself in a high vibration, these types of things, which are sure all good, but it's not the whole story, and it's not really how it works. It's maybe a starting point, but really it's just a starting point. And here's the thing that we have to know. We're living in a reality that has multiple timelines splitting all the time. In order for your manifestation to work, you've got to be on a timeline that gets to that manifestation. Well, our tiny brains aren't able to comprehend just how many timelines there are, how they're just splitting constantly. I mean, literally, I just put my foot as I'm walking a little bit different than I expected to. That's a different timeline. That's probably 15 or 30 or 30,000 timelines right there. Boom, off in all kinds of directions. So yes, have your thing you're expecting, right? That's positive and good. But the real key is, where are you actually walking? I'm on a sidewalk right now. Where does that sidewalk actually lead? Where am I actually going? Am I going fast enough to get there to meet the thing that I want? Or am I going too fast? Am I not paying attention? Am I going to stumble and fall at some point because I'm not watching where my feet are going? These are the things that actually matter. It matters what you do. It does. And anyone who says otherwise, they're just selling snake oil. That's what they're doing. It matters what you do. Now, this isn't like, oh, you're going to get karma. That's not what we're talking about here. No, and we're not even saying, oh, you're not going to get what you wanted. We're not saying that either. It's more like how long is it going to take you? What delays are there going to be along the way? All right, let's talk about this from the other end, so to speak. Because, as I've said before, what we're really doing when we're thinking in these ways, we're really interacting with the fifth dimension, which is where all these timelines are swirling around. And they all happen. And so when you're thinking about quote-unquote manifestation, you're thinking about trying to get to not even just one line. You're trying to get to a thread, right? There's going to be many versions of you doing this in many different ways. But you're trying to get as much of you as possible onto this thread so that you can anchor that thread into place. Because see, and also, this is all quantum. If you know about quantum mechanics, it matters if we see it, who sees it, how many of us see it. This is something that science hasn't caught on to yet. How many of us see it? At least if they are catching on, they're not talking about it. How many of us see it? When we all see something and we go, oh, that's reality. We've just anchored that timeline into place. Okay? So, and this can be absolutely crazy. Some of you are going to watch this video and you're going to see a different video than other people are, because another version of me made a slightly different video. And I can tell you, there's been several interruptions to this video that I've handled in particular ways. Some of the version of me has handled that in a different way, and a different video is coming out for different people who are going to see this differently. No one will know it unless people talk about it. And as soon as you talk to somebody about it, say about this video, well, that's going to anchor in a timeline or a set of timelines where you and the person that you're talking to both saw the same version, or reasonably the same version of the video. And that's going to anchor that timeline into place. And the more people who see it that way, the more that gets anchored in. Why does this matter? Well, because if we walk around the world with fear and worry, and that's our predominant mode, we're jumping at shadows all the time, we're expecting the worst out of events, we're expecting the worst out of people, that's what we get. This is why the old saying, hope for the best, prepare for the worst, is maybe apropos. Don't be ready to act when the thing you want happens, when the world shows itself in ugly ways. But also, it's really important the mindset that we have while we're going through the world, right? It's really important the mindset that we have when we're interacting with other people, even if we have to go to, say, an extreme of, so-called cutting someone out of your life. How are you doing that? Are you still hoping for some future where that person, is a better version of themselves, or a version that's compatible with you, if we, try to use this and talk about this in less moralistic ways, right? And that you are also a person who's better suited to them, right? Like, that's a different mindset than, oh, I'm cutting you out of my life because you're awful and da-da-da-da-da, and you're going to keep being awful, and I hope you get all kinds of karma and da-da-da-da-da, right? That's a different space. It's a different headspace. And all kinds of different timelines are going to result from being in that headspace versus being in a headspace where we stay more neutral. There's a scriptural verse, a Bible verse that keeps coming up whenever this particular set of ideas is going through, is kind of coming through. And it's talking about love and how love hopes for all, it expects the best out of things. I'm loosely paraphrasing. And that is exactly what we're looking for here, right? We're looking for an open heart, a heart that is willing to see others become better, even if when they were with us, they were not better. Even if when we were them, we were not better. We're hoping for ourselves to be better. This is how we make a better world. We hope for it, we look for it, we expect it. And then we go out and we act accordingly. We act as if that's going to happen. We act as if that better, more cohesive world is coming into being. See, there's two ways this whole timeline thing can go. It can split and split and split and split and split and split and split because we're not meeting up with each other. We're conflicting with each other constantly. Or it can join up. It can unify. We can get to a timeline where we're becoming one. And that is the point of what we're doing here. We're building souls. We're building oversouls. We're building unified oversouls of different people who are not exactly the same, different souls who are not exactly the same, but that find ways to come together and be together and then that produces a joined soul, a joined set of souls. And when that happens, we anchor in unified timelines that are less full of division, heading towards a really solid timeline that can go forward. And there's a lot more to say about this, but I think that's it for today. The really, really important part is, yes, the attitude, but not just your attitude towards yourself. It does matter. What is your attitude towards others in your life, in and around you? That matters. And then what do you do with that? How do you act in the world? What do you go out and produce? So it's both. And the world that a lot of us want to see, from everything that's happening, what we can tell. Because see, in the meantime, all kinds of darkness is coming out, all kinds of things hidden in the shadows, all kinds of negativity, negative energy, negative polarity, however you want to say it. All that's coming out so that we can see it and reject it, because we have a hard time rejecting what we can't see, and it can just sit there and live there. And that's what we're doing right now. And so it ranges from big things like no to war, no to dropping bombs on women and children in places far flung from us that have nothing to do with us really, and certainly can't hurt us. No, absolutely not. To, you know what? I don't want to work this awful job because it's not me. It's not why I'm here. I didn't come to this life to work this job. So I'm not going to. I'm going to do other things. And then you follow your bliss. You follow your heart. You follow what it is you want to do. Even if you weren't really sure at the time when you make that initial rejection of, no, I'm not doing that, it puts you on a different path, right? And then you end up producing something, more powerful and positive in the world because of it. So, it ranges from these relatively small, minor, individual things to these big, big things that maybe we do with each other as we join up and we make big changes in the world and we grow in different directions. I don't like the word change. We grow, we develop over time. All right, so that's what's coming through. And like I said, it's a big Odin's Day message. This is reality. This is reality creation here. This is it. This is it. There's not really much more I could add. This is it. If we do this, to the extent we do this, we make a different world. And that's pretty much it for today. Appreciate likes, comments, sharing, subscribing. I do have a Patreon. If you want to support these efforts and make them more and more fruitful. Also, it's going to be a primary way that I start to build community. So really looking forward to that as folks, move towards Patreon, and then that opens up some things we can do on Discord and looking at Facebook groups and stuff like that. So things that are coming. Also, coming down the road are trips abroad to visit different places where, frankly, there's healing work that needs to be done on an Earth scale, a Gaia scale, and recovery of energies and things like that. That I'm going to be heading in those directions. So support will help in any way at all, even if it's just a kind word. And if you need support, if you are on an awakening journey and it's tough, it's confusing, it's intense, you're not sure what to do at a particular point that you're at. I've been through a lot of these things. That's why I'm here, and if for nothing else. So ways to reach out to me are in the video description. And that's pretty much it for today. Sending you love and peace, all that peace, and as much light as you can stand. It's a sunny day here. I hope it is with you as well. Bye now.